I sit on her legs when I'm feeling low. She plays with my spirit and she
7 p.m. Are there any questions about the agenda or anything that you want to add? The only other thing that we had mentioned potentially was there was a debate about adding on a person from the student body to the board and discuss that further. Do we want to add on the region? You did that.
Yeah, is that premature?
No, that's good.
All right.
I didn't see the most recent one. Good. All right, so then we'll accept that agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as written? Okay, do I have a second? Okay, a motion by Chris, second by Shelley. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. All right, let's move on to celebration of MAP success.
Yes, we have a couple things. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
PowerPoint?
Again, welcome to Madison Elementary School. Great to have you guys here. If you have a minute, take a quick trip around the school. There's a lot of interesting artwork and neat things kids have been working on. Some of the staff is here tonight, and it's kind of interesting. 6 months ago, we had pretty much an entire new staff. We had three new teachers, 2 new parapros, new secretary, and 6 months later, we're doing it's all come together. We're working on flying wheelie machine. We have a very brief PowerPoint just to show you some things that have been happening. Trying to make a real fun atmosphere so kids enjoy coming to school. It's exciting for them. This is their first experience here, so we got a lot of happy, smiling faces and a lot of good times. We want them to remember kindergarten is something great and they learn how to read. So Ms. Adams is there. She's got a real quick PowerPoint for us with some pictures of the kids and some things that they're doing. Big group of kids here this year. There's about 141 kindergarten and young fives, and we have 2 preschools here and an ECD classroom through the IC. So there's a full building. We have 1 open classroom, which is the art room that everybody kind of transfers through, and we're packing them in. And we have kindergarten roundup next week. So if you pass the word, we got flyers out, ads on the paper, on Facebook, and on the website. So you know of any potential kindergartners, send them our way. Thank you.
Do you use all the classrooms in here?
The one room that's open during the day is the art room, and it's nice to have an art room because after you see what happens in art, it's nice to keep the mess contained in one area, so it's easier to clean up. So instead of having every classroom being art room, what typically happens is art's on a cart. So we have a designated art room where all that action happens and stays and stuff.
All the glue and glitter stays.
The glue and the glitter tends to stay in one spot, yes. But other than that, every room is, we're back up to capacity.
That's putting you on the spot, Matt, but is there, how many actual kindergartens are there?
Minus the young fives, it'd be about 121. And then there's 20 young fives, there's 17 4-year-olds in the MAPS program, 17 in GSRP. And I don't really know how many are in the ECE program, but there's, I'm going to say 8 to 10 in the 4-year-old program.
That's kind of the 121.
Yeah, that'd be roughly the number of kids moving from here to Jefferson this year. Yeah, check it out, look around the building, I turn all the lights on, there's some really cool artwork and projects that they've been working on. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, man.
Are you setting up?
Yeah.
Eric, if you want.
I'm here with the high school forensics team. This past year, we ended up with 13 kids on the team, and we competed at 6 different competitions. And we have 10 students that are performing at the state level in about 3 weeks from now, which is the largest group I believe we've ever taken to the state finals. I'm pretty excited about this bunch. They worked hard this year and will improve. I've got 3 of our speakers here right now. I'd like to ask each of them just to say their name and what their event is and tell a little bit about forensics. Brad, he's our captain.
My name is Brad Madison. I'm a junior at Manistee High School and I'm captain of the Manistee High School forensics team. What forensics is, it's a speaking and acting competition, and there's 2 specific branches. There's public address, which people give speeches and perform that way, just talking. And then there's dramatic interpretation, which is drama and acting and all that. And I'm in the public address branch, and actually what I do is broadcast. They give me a script, and they give me time to cut it out. Next thing I know, I'm performing, and I got 5 minutes, and I have to give them a broadcast like I'm on television. And forensics is a really important program we have at Manistee High School, because unlike some of the programs we have at Manistee High School, speaking is always going to be a key part of your life. All throughout your life, it's going to be a skill that's going to be good to have. And let's see. For acting, you can go up there by yourself and act. You can do a duo act with other people, and then there's multiple, which is up to, I believe, 10 people acting. And then there's poetry, storytelling, and all that. And then public address, there is speeches, there's argumentative, which is oratory, there's informative, which doesn't really take a side, it just presents information. And yeah, that's about it.
And I've got, this is Graham Fisher. He's a state finalist and regional champion this year as well. Graham, want to tell us what your event is?
I'm in info, which is informative speaking, which Brad mentioned. And basically, the only goal of it is it teaches you to keep an audience and keep people motivated, to watch you and want to learn what you have to say. That's really the only point of it, and that's how you're judged and scored.
And you try to get an interesting topic to keep your audience interested. What's your topic this year?
My topic this year is cannibalism.
Which has surprised a lot of judges, but he scored a lot of points. And we've got one more speaker here, and this is Per Andreas Romas. Sorry, Romas. He's only our exchange for 18 months. What's your event this year, Per?
I do duo. That's pretty much theater with 2 people, and you have to act off each other. And
how long does your event take?
Around 8 minutes.
Okay. And are there any special rules in the acting while you're acting with someone else?
You can't touch each other at all. You can't handshake or anything like that. You have to look not at each other. If you look at each other, you lose points. So you have to find another point and look away from them. pretty hard.
Okay, and what was your speech this year, your acting scene?
We did two scenes, those kids or whatever.
What did you end the year with?
We ended it with the King's Speech by David Seiler, which was really, really good.
Want to present this?
All right, we'll just let these play through. These are pictures that we took this year on our youth and government trip. I brought 2 students with me tonight. We took a total of 9 students to youth and government this year. Some coming and going at different times, depending on band festivals and other activities kids were involved in. And as you can see, 2 of only the 9 tonight, because they're so involved in other things, they're unable to be here tonight. But I'll introduce you to Tyler Kemp and our newest member of Youth and Government, and he is a senior, and Cameron Blevins, who is our most senior member of Youth and Government, as a senior. So I'll let them talk a little bit about what they did, and then if you guys have any questions.
Hey guys, I'm Cameron Blevins. I'm not sure if you've heard about YIG before. I've been here to talk about it before, and I'm sure it's been going on for quite a while, but pretty much it's just a conference of students around the state who are interested in learning more about how government works, how specifically the Michigan government works, and we all meet down in Lansing. We go to the real Capitol building. We pretty much run legislature like it's run in real life, and you know, there's about 900 to 1,000 kids every year, so we make up 1% of that. And I guess what I did this year was I was part of the governor's cabinet, which is sort of like the, I guess, the Board of Education for YIG, because it's a small council of students that work together with the governor herself on making decisions, passing bills, failing bills, you know, sending things to judicial review, things like that. So it's kind of in the highest order of decision makers this year. And it was my 3rd and final year as a senior, so thanks.
Hello, I'm Tyler Kemp. I'm a senior as well. This was my first year doing YIG, and I was convinced by Mr. Blevins here. And it was a fantastic time. I've never experienced parliamentary procedure or any of the debate about topics that adults are debating throughout our state. And you know, it was very interesting to see sort of the dysfunction that occurs. The biggest lesson I learned out of that was I learned how it works and, you know, why our government is so dysfunctional. We tend to fight a lot out there, but, you know, it was very enriching. I would love to see more people do it because I learned a lot from it, and I mean, that's pretty much it. It was a fantastic time. Going to the Capitol was a thrill because my grandfather was there at one point too, sitting in the House floor where I was at. That was pretty cool. It was definitely should have more people try out for it.
We've been trying to get Tyler since he was a freshman. Freshman history, I'm like, hey Tyler, you should do this, you'll really like it. And I didn't know who his grandfather was. So I figured he would like it, took it all the way to senior year. Some changes in the youth and government. Cameron brought up the idea of judicial review, which was new, that the actual Supreme Court selected and court actually reviewed all legislation that was passed for its constitutionality. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about, since you were on the governor's cabinet, you guys reviewed all things that were passed through the House and the Senate, what the hot topics were this year.
We had to discuss some gay marriage bills, which it was just interesting how that passed while we were there, in fact. But we still, you know, for Michigan Youth and Government, we still had to pass it through our Constitution for Michigan Youth and Government. We had to amend some things, and that was interesting. I know that bill was the most successful of the controversial bills. And I mean, if you want to call it controversial, only in the sense of judicial review. But we also had some, let's see here, marijuana bills. You know, there was even one on brothels, I think, that might have gotten passed through some of the House and stuff. I'm not big on a lot of those, but that's why I wanted to do governor's cabinet. So I don't know. Can you think of any other?
Issues all over the state are dealt with there. Some more humorous than others, and some more serious than others. Last year, Cameron was part of the team that won actually the best bill out of all the bills that were written in there dealt with an environmental issue. This year, our students were involved in almost every portion of the program. We didn't have anybody on either of the presses. There's an electronic press and a written press. There's a lobbyist. Jordan MacArthur was our lobbyist. You were governor's cabinet, House. I think we had 2 senators, other House members, and Liz was in what they call the National Issues Forum, which deals with national issues, and it's more of a debate system where they pro and con and vote and move the topic on to the next section. So, anyway, so that's it. I don't know if anybody has more questions. This is the 17th year that we've gone to Youth in Government since I've been at Manistee, but you should know that if anybody was in Tri-High-Y, that was Youth in Government back in the day. So, and I'm not sure exactly when Tri-High-Y, when they stopped attending, but this is 60-something year of Michigan Youth in Government. Yeah, thank you guys very
much. Next we move on to public communications. Protocol is if you have anything to say about anything on the agenda, we need you to fill out a form and present it to the secretary. So this portion of the agenda is for persons who address the board. Public communications and comment is limited to 3 minutes per individual. This comment period right now is only for those items that appear on the agenda. There is a second public communication and comment period at the end of the meeting for any other item. Anything specific on community reports? Okay. Jeff Jeanette.
Sure. Thanks for putting me at this part. I didn't see the ISD on the agenda, so it kind of surprised me. A little pressure with the forensics kids going, talking about public speaking. And I'm 48 years old, and I wish I learned at 18 that government's dysfunctional. Because there's a lot of years in there. But I'm Jeff Jeanette. I'm the new ISD superintendent. My apologies for taking this long to get to Manistee Public Schools. So it's just basically, I'm going around to the different boards to introduce myself. I'm a shared superintendent with Wexford Misaki ISD, so I'm usually in the area 1 day a week, but I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you need to reach me for any questions about Manistee ISD, please don't hesitate. And John contact me, or just contact the office and we'll find me. Lucy Gax, our head, are very good. Leash on me. She finds me wherever I am. So I'm just glad to be a part of Manistee ISD, and if we can help you in any way, please let me know. Okay. Thank you.
Correspondence and superintendent report?
Yeah, first on is Case Salyer.
I'm the Director of General Ed at the Manistee ISD, and similar to Jeff, I try to go around the board meetings once a year and just talk about the General Ed department and what we're doing. One thing I wanted to say to the Manistee board was there's an old story about how school boards like to focus on the B's, budgets, busing, buildings, books, but I hear this year that you guys are focused on achievement. And so I want to say thank you very much for putting the light on student achievement and talking about data in the board meetings, because that's really important to monitor the implementation of strategies and goals that are written in the school improvement plan by looking at data. And I see on the agenda today that you are going to be looking at data, so I commend you for that work. As you know, at the ISD, we have a technology department, we have a special ed department, a business cooperative, and general ed. And on this handout, I just kind of wrote down the different things that we're working on. So there's 4 parts at the top. We focus on professional development, curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And so we're trying to bring services to your schools on those areas. And our staff is 5 people: me, Josie Lippert, Kim Reinhardt, David Gagstetter, and Lucy Gagstetter. So what we're working on is Kim focuses on science professional learning, Denzi focuses on English language arts. I used to have math and social studies, but we're sharing consultants with Wexford Misaki now, so we have math consultants and social studies consultants that can work on that. And I'm more focused on school improvement and principal professional development now. We share David Gagstetter with you guys. He's 3 days a week for Manistee schools and 2 days a week for us at the ISD. And Lucy Gagstetter is helps us with professional learning support, and she's the secretary of the general ed office at the ISD. On the second page, it just talks some more about what the different activities are that we're each doing. But down at the bottom, it talks about our focus for this school year. So we're looking at the Common Core state standards, implementing them and making sure curriculum aligns with that. We're looking at, the state hasn't decided if they're going to use the Smarter Balanced Assessment yet, but we're hoping they make an announcement soon, and we're hoping they choose the Smarter Balanced Assessment. And like I was telling Tom Stovey before the meeting, what we want is a set curriculum and an assessment that measures that curriculum. And we don't really have that exactly right now. For instance, the Michigan Merit Exam for the 11th graders, it's the word keys, the ACT, and the Michigan wraparound part. So you can't really say that it takes the high school expectations and measures them exactly. So it's hard for the teachers to create their curriculum when the assessment is kind of jumbled like that. So we're hoping for a set, we have the Common Core state standards now, we would like an assessment that measures those standards. And the one that's being developed to do that is the Smarter Balanced Assessment. So we're hoping that that's the one that's approved. We are also focused on teacher evaluation this year in the new evaluation law. And today at the principals meeting, all of your principals were in attendance, and we did an activity called Inter-Rater Reliability, where we watched a video of a teacher teaching, and then they scored on a rubric. The state is going to tell us what rubric is coming, but we're practicing with one of the rubrics that we think it might be. So we're working on that together. And then the principals from around the county talk about why they scored it the way they did, and then they have a discussion about effective instruction. So that's what we did today. And our collaboration is listed there at the bottom of the sheet. Like I said, we have a math consultant we share with Wexford. Kim Reinhardt, who's our science consultant. She's the science consultant at Wexford Misaki. We have a social studies consultant. We share David Gagstetter with you. We have a homeless liaison that works for a bunch of different ISDs in northern Michigan. We run the honors band with Benzie in Frankfurt. We have math counts competition with West Shore ESD. We're in a Michigan virtual pricing consortium with a bunch of different ISDs that's run by TOP ISD. I'm a member of the Northern Michigan Learning Consortium, which is 11 ISDs, and I get a lot of information from that group for the work that I do. And we just work together with West Shore and Wexford Misaki to do presentations for each other, just trading days for days. So it's pretty effective in the sharing that we're doing. We don't have, the last column there is about gifted and talented programs in the Math Science Center. We don't have very many gifted and talented programs anymore. We're sad that the budgets were completely taken away for that, but we did keep the programs that we had going. We have young authors we had the other, like about a month ago. We do have a math counts competition and honors band. You host the Science Olympiad event at Kennedy Elementary, and that's a very popular event. And the amount of students has grown every year for about the past 10 years, and we love that. And we have a family engineering and a green school initiative through our math and science center. What questions do you have for me? of the general ed department.
Okay, I have to say, it's great to see this overview, and we hear all of your names, we know you're out there, we're really concerned what each of you is doing, so this is fantastic for you. A lot of us don't have a good understanding of what the ISD does for us, and we look at our school board and we think that that's the end of our deal. We realize, looking at this, our line of really going to need to help us out. Your focus is, seems perfect, right? I think that what we're looking at, and things that we have to deal with this year. So we're going to be waiting as soon as you get stuff on that, let us know. That's good. Any other comments?
Just, Jeff, not to put you on the spot, but where do we rank budgetary wise in the state as far as the size of our ISD? But they're pretty near the bottom.
Yes, with the numbers of mills that we raise, our mills rate plus the dollars we raise, yes, we are.
Yeah, so we are, we have a lesser amount of resources than other ISDs do, but through collaboration, cooperation, a lot of hard work, I think it's maximized. And got some people that have been working pretty creatively over the past few years, and very hard for the past few years. It's appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know if there's any questions or comments on either items B or C.
Any specific information from that?
Well, with Jeff here, to put him back on the spot, did you have anything you want to just recap on MCOE 2020 program we had?
Well, at our last meeting, both Joel and John were there, and I think it was a good meeting, because all of you know we received very positive data on what our county will support in the areas of millage, and vocational education is number one, but all of them went pretty high. So now we're trying to sit through that data and decide if we want to pursue a county millage, an enhancement millage that would benefit all the local districts in vocational programs as well as the other things that the community would support. The trouble is, the superintendent and I got together to put together the list. It's this big, and we really had to trim it down. So that was what we were doing.
And Howard just made a great suggestion today that we're going to have for you next month at the board meeting is a recap of all the vocational programs that we are currently offering to our MAP students and what kids are taking. Because I think, as Howard mentioned today, people think that we've eliminated a lot of things. We haven't MAPs, but the kids still have, I think, most, if not all, those opportunities for some, other places, and we're, again, even trying to expand that. Those are important programs. We want to make sure people do know what we are doing, so that's going to be something that you'll get next month. Finance report?
Yep, I don't know if anybody had any questions on the finance report that was included in your packet. We have updated the budget in your report, that first count to reflect that we've been budget. We'll have at least one, probably a couple of budget amendments before we end the school year. Revenues have been trailing behind expenditures, which is typical in the school district. We can see now we're kind of catching up. We have 40% available revenue, 39% of expenditures left. And that's because we've gotten through the tax collection season, so we're kind of catching up. But overall, things seem to be in line with what we expect to see this time of year, and we'll just continue to monitor and bring you updates as needed. Any questions from the finance report?
Those lower numbers, how are they? They're not a concern, the percentages?
Well, it really depends on the item. In some places, if it's something where the expenditures already occurred, I mean, there's some things that don't systematically happen through the year. It's not like payroll, which goes out. They may, the expenses are incurred earlier, or we may have paid our vocational. I know that it's in the case of like our vocational program, which John mentioned, we've already paid for the entire year. So That's what skews those. But when you look at the numbers and then look at the surface, it's in line.
Anything else? Moving on to personnel report.
There's a couple resignations. Jim Peck resigning as bus driver, and then my coach, Sach, is speed coach. So I appreciate quite a number of years of service both those folks gave, and wish them well in their new endeavors. Are there any questions on the leadership reports? Okay, we had an interesting week this last week, and the data did not get in the board packet, so we will be bringing that back up there. Yeah, that we have mentioned. I'm like, no! Oh my God. But you'd have to realize it was an interesting week. We'll be doing that at our work studies.
But one thing that's bring up is what we're doing, we're going to be looking at data longitude. We're working on coming up with a plan to get data, as it happens, instead of waiting quarterly.
Yes, we are at our last, and Kate has actually been right there with us as we've been discussing that a fair amount. She hasn't made all the meetings that we were scheduled, but she's been at some where one of the things we're looking at is, the analogy is of a scoreboard. If you covered the scoreboard in a basketball game, in a type of contest, and you never knew what the score was, you'd never know how to coach the game. Or if you waited till the end of the season and looked at your record and said, well, we were 6-5, what abuse is that to you? What is abuse is knowing there's 4 minutes gone in the first quarter, we're down by 3, second quarter we're up by 8. Then you get to make your decisions in a timely manner. So one of the things that we've been working on as an administrative team, getting the teachers involved, the ISD has been helpful in that, is how can we get data that in a much more timely manner that will help us improve student achievement across the district in grades K through 12. And so that's something that we're working on, and we hope to implement that next school week.
Can I ask a clarification?
Just in the board packet, in Ken's report, you have a list of all the coaches and volunteer coaches. I know that's something that's been asked for in the past, just so you know who's working with our kids. So we plan on doing that, I guess, that's 3 times a year to cover all the seasons.
And then snow days.
Snow days. We have 4 to make up. We'll be going until June 4th. We'll get that communicated very soon. Full day Monday, June 2nd, half day Tuesday and Wednesday, the 3rd and 4th. And obviously that Friday before May 30th is full day as well. So we were supposed to get out on Thursday. We'll be going full day Friday, full day Monday, and half day the 3rd and 4th of June. So we'll get that communicated. That's what the calendar was always stated at. The final exams, different records, that type of thing. That's how the original calendar was. We just inserted those dates. The state requirement.
Any other questions? If not, let's move on to old business, Neola policies.
Well, this is our second reading of these policies. I know last time you guys had some discussion on policy, the bylaws, 0141, about bringing in students into the board. That was not part of our proposed changes, that we don't need to do that, but I'm glad that you guys are looking at it and talking about it. It's a different section of that 18-page document that we're recommending we change it. They had to do with the change in statute with conflict of interest. But certainly, you know, I'm glad that you saw that and had a chance to talk about it. So I just want to clarify that you could adopt these, if you chose, adopt these policies as presented without that and come back to that to consider it if you haven't had time to think about it, or you can make that change and we'll just add that to the other change in this policy. Other than that, I don't know if anyone had any questions. We did have a question on 8142, I believe it is, that had to do with background checks for contracted employees. And what the intent of that is that as school districts are hiring contracted services in place of regular employee groups, say for custodial or food service, that those employees would go through a background check just as though they were a member of the district's employees who have to do that. So that's what that policy is doing. It doesn't apply to, although we monitor outside contractors that come in, you know, to fix a leaky pipe or to do something like that. When we have a contractor who's here a good portion of time and they're in buildings when there's students here, we do require background checks. Last time we had someone on site was Honeywell. When they did this energy improvement project, we required all of their contracted employees and all their subs to provide background check. Do you have any other questions on any of that?
Any questions? If not, then let's move on to do some action items.
Correction, I have a question.
Number one is approval of the regular board meeting minutes. We also have special board meeting minutes and closed board meeting minutes.
I have read over all of the minutes. John, did you say anything?
Yeah, if you go to the March 26th minutes under work study session, it said the board felt it was not prudent to maintain the S Academy. That should be restart, not maintain. And then there should probably be a new paragraph where it starts seventh day. That was going to change.
We'll get those fixed then.
What? Yeah. So with those few changes, I think everything else is.
Okay, with those changes that John mentioned, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from March 12th, the regular board meeting, March 26th, the special board meeting, and March 26th, the closed session.
And I'll second that.
All right, motion by Shelley, seconded by Tom. All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, say no. Okay, motion passes. All right, good. Thank you, Joe. Next is approval of Neola policies. Any discussion or motions?
I'll make a motion to accept the approve the old policies as presented. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom, seconded by Paul. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed say no. All right, motion passes. Approval of accounts payroll report. Do I have a motion?
Hold on.
You're
moving too fast, Paul. Check down with slow. I make a motion to approve for accounts payable $258,523.57.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Tom. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed say no. All right, motion passes. Next action item is approval of athletic clubs.
Yes, Ken, we do hockey, we're going to continue that, we are recommendation to do so. Wrestling, the other school decided they did not want to co-op, so there's no need to do that one. And then soon we found out that we actually, just.
It's been extended for another year.
It's been extended for another year, but the next one. Yeah. So really the only one that we, is timely to address tonight is the hockey, and it would be our recommendation that the board approve that hockey co-op. All the other schools have approved it at this point. We're the last one. There is no cost to the district. A little bit of Kent's time maybe, but as far as dollars, it's a self-sufficient program.
Make a motion to approve the hockey co-op. Second.
Okay, motion by Jim, seconded by Chris. All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed, say no. Motion passes. New business, student board representative. Should I have that?
Yes.
All right. Well, this is something that has come up when we were reviewing the Neola policies. One of the suggestions there was including a student representative on the board to take part in some of the activities that the board does, to sit up here with us, to provide a conduit basically to the students. What we want to try and do is stay connected with our community and with our students, and sometimes there's a disconnect there. So we see that as I see that as a potential opportunity for us to do that. In the details, that the IR now is tell us specifically who from the student government will be involved, how that representative will be decided on, what their duties would be. But I'd like a little bit more conversation about that and see what everybody else thinks.
I think it's a great idea, and I was thinking maybe even, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of interest in the kids, so split up the year. You know, maybe between president, secretary, or whatever. They can,
You know, it's something that we did at Williamston, and very effective. I think the only, we tried to have someone who would go a whole year, and of course, the people that are interested in doing this are generally very busy kids. And I think it's better this semester. We had, at the end of 4 years, we had 8 people that represented us. There's 8 people going back, spreading their closer connection to the school. And of course, we always had them give the state of the high school, since they always were high school people. But I think it's a wonderful idea. The perfect time to get started is next fall.
Anyone have reservations about that?
If you want, we don't have to recreate the wheel. We can go find what other schools have done, get that back to the workshop. I'm sure there's a variety of different ways that districts approach that. Just get you some information, and we can put our own. We can put our own twist on it.
Probably more questions on the process of that than we would need to actually do.
We'll get you some information.
Second, public communication. This portion of the agenda is for persons to address the board. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per individual. Do we have anything? Okay. We have Tom. How was his name? Stokely. You have the floor.
Thank you for allowing me to do this. I spent 40 years in education as a teacher, as a coach. I coached against John. And I like the afro, John.
That's supposed to be a secret.
As a principal and for the past 10 years as the superintendent of Franklin, Alberta area schools. I retired in December And on March 20th of this year, I officially announced my candidacy for the 101st House seat. That includes Manistee County, along with Mason, Renzi, and Leland. For the past 3 years, I've sat in the same seat that John did and looked at what our legislature has done to public education and became very frustrated with it. To the point where I decided, instead of sitting and complaining about it, that maybe I had to try to do something about it. So I've thrown my hat into the ring, and I pledge to you that my #1 issue in going to Lansing, when I win, is to restore adequate funding for public education, to try to clean up some of the other mandates and things that have been put upon us, unfunded, by the way. And I just have a real passion to do this, and I've been going around to a number of different boards introducing myself, and I wanted to do that tonight. And it brought back memories, because I actually enjoyed board meetings as a superintendent, except for Neola. Not one of my favorites. So I thank you for what you do for young people here in Manistee, and I applaud you for all your work and hard work for young people. So thank you very much.
Can you get a picture? Just to quickly say hi.
Sure. Anyone else?
Hi. Hi. You don't usually get to see me, because I'm usually behind the camera. But if you remember, I was here a couple months ago, and I was telling you about the anti-bullying poetry contest that is being sponsored by the AAUW, the Youth Advisory Committee, the Central Wellness Network, and P5. Well, we have gone through it, we have judged it, and it's ready. And on the 24th of April, at the Faith Covenant Church, we will be having the award ceremony. And we invite you to come. A good number of the kids that won were from Mass. Okay? And it's pretty good. Brian Bain should be patted on the back, real good one. He got 7 of his kids to submit videos, and they're all pretty good. We will be showing all those. So it's going to be quite a thing. There will be refreshments. And as I said, you're all invited. Thank you.
John, what was the date you talked about?
The 24th, 7 o'clock, at the Faith Covenant Church. And it will be taped by Channel 2 as well. Appear on that.
Anyone else? That's it. Okay. Announcements. We have our next work study board meeting on Wednesday, April 23rd at Kennedy. There's going to be the 350 Club Spring Dinner and Silent Auction on April 26, 2014. We'd like to encourage as many people to come to that. I think $60 per couple, $30 per individual. And come support the Athletic Association. We are also having a mass volunteer recognition reception at High School Commons on Tuesday, April 29th at 6:30. We have a lot of volunteers here in our community, and a lot of times they go unnoticed. And we want to at least take a little bit of time just to actually meet some of those people that we might not otherwise be able to talk to or touch base with and recognize them. Otherwise, we're going to have our board meeting on Wednesday, May 14th at 7 p.m. at Jefferson. Just note that that's a different location. Our graduation is on Saturday, May 24th at 7 p.m. Baccalaureate is then we have another board meeting scheduled on May 28th. And going forward from those announcements, one of the debates that we've had too is whether or not you're making comments at the end of our meeting, at the end of the board meeting. We want to be consistent with comments from the board members. There are some people that say they want that. We can leave it open, say if you have something to say, we can say it. We can just say, let's take care of it during the board meeting. Just wanted to see how you guys, what you guys thought of that, or any strong feelings about it. We've had it before. We went down the line. We can always do that again.
I like the idea. I think that would be enough clearer in my emails. So I don't know the rest of you guys think. I think it needs to be positive comments, and I think it's up to the people. It needs to be positive, I guess. I don't want to say that it needs to be monitored, because there's really no way to monitor it, but I think in the past, when Dale was on the board, we went through that, and it was saying, we mentioned things like that the rest of the board members didn't know at times, things that went on in school. I thought it was constructive. I don't know how you felt, Dale, or so.
Any other discussion about it?
I think having that opportunity to comment, mention things is I think, appropriate.
Well, if there's no one that feels strongly against it, I'd say let's add that on to what we do. So with that being said, Jim, do you have anything special to say? Paul, how about you?
Myself, no.
Tom?
Very good meeting so far, Paul.
Okay. Shelley?
Man, the school looks great. Thank you for having us. I did walk all the way through, and it's really nice to see all the classrooms this year being utilized. I peeked at every classroom, and they're so bright. I love the school.
Joel?
That is the same thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen,
If that is it, we have a closed session coming up. I need a motion to go into closed session.
And I think we should probably state, there is the possibility of an action item coming out of closed session.
Oh, the Manistee River, she runs by my home. I sit on the bank